Hey everyone, so I wanted to start today with a question that came in from PupRap. They were asking, how do you stretch your stomach muscles? So I want to show you a couple ways of doing that. So the first one requires no equipment to stretch your stomach muscles. What you're going to do is take one hand and put it right at your belt line. So you're pushing forward on your back and hips. As you push back with your shoulders, you should feel a stretch right here in your abdominals. They start from your rib cage and go all the way into the front of your hips, right across your belly button. So you're pushing forward on your hips as you push back with your shoulders, feeling a stretch in your what's called your rectus abdominis muscle. So that's one of the main muscles of your stomach. It's what a lot of people think of when they do crunches. The six-pack muscle is that rectus abdominis muscle. If you can't quite feel that stretch doing it with just your hands, what you can do is switch to an exercise ball. So this is an exercise ball stretch for the stomach muscles. What you're gonna do is lay with the ball right at the small of your back. So you want the center of the ball right in line with your belly button, okay? So not up here by your shoulders. You wanna be right here, and then you're gonna take your hands, bring them over the top of your head till you feel that stretch in your stomach. Then you're gonna hold that for 20 seconds. You should feel a stretch all the way from your rib cage down across your belly button to the front of your hips. So if you might need to adjust the ball a little bit to make sure it's right in line with your belly button. So you want the center of the ball right in the small of your back, right behind that belly button. And that's a way to stretch your abdominals with an exercise ball. Now, if you're going for more the obliques, which run along the sides, you're gonna need to do a little bit of twisting. So what you can do, cross your arms across your chest, and then you're going to turn, try and point your elbow all the way to the side. So twisting at that spine, you should feel a stretch right here in the side of your stomach. So these muscles run in sort of a V shape at the side. Twisting to the side, holding for 20 seconds, and then same thing on the other side. This is stretching the oblique muscles of a little bit of the rectus abdominis as well at the front, but more in that side for those stomach stretches. If you have any questions or comments or things you want to know how to stretch or work out, let me know in the chat and see what I can do to address those. So that would be stretching for the front and sides of the abdominals. Now, if you're actually looking to put a little bit more stretch into it, what you can do is on the ground, keep your hips on the ground, and you're going to push up with your hands. You can even lock out your elbows. You should feel a really profound stretch in your abdominals doing this. Looking up towards the ceiling, keeping your hips on the ground though. So if you raise your hips up, you're not gonna get the effective stretch of those abdominal muscles, and holding that for at least 20 seconds. Then if you wanna get the obliques, all you have to do is walk your hands to the side. Hang on one second, let me get a little bit further back so you can see. So if you walk your hands to the side, so you're doing a little bit of a twist, you should get more into that oblique on the opposite side, and then same thing on the other side. So walking your hands away, keeping your hips on the ground though. Those are some good abdominal stretches, especially if you do a lot of crunches. Keeping the flexibility of those muscles is important. So how you all doing today? So those are some stomach stretches. Any other stretches you guys are, what's your go-to stretch? Go ahead and type in the chat or in the comments. I'd love to hear. We're probably gonna have a shorter stream today. got somewhere to be in not too long. But I wanted to cover that question from PupRap, asking for how to stretch the stomach. Stomach is kind of a lot of muscles that make up this core section. You've got your rectus abdominis in the front, you've got your obliques in the side. You actually have a muscle that runs all the way around called the transverse abdominis. That's usually when people say, oh, tighten your core, they're actually talking about the transverse abdominis. If you want to learn how to activate that muscle, let me just turn this a little bit more down to the ground. What you can do is put your hand underneath your back, and you're going to try and put light pressure on your hands, feeling that belt of muscle engage around your stomach as you breathe in normally. Now, if you're going like this, you want to try and do it without straining. So try and do it just to the point where you can feel that pressure without limiting your breath. You should be able to actually take your fingertips and push in at the sides and feel that muscle pushing back against you. That's your transverse abdominis. So you're pushing that gap in your back down into the ground, and that's engaging that muscle. So you're tensing up those abs. A lot of people tense up this way, and that's that six-pack muscle, but it's not really stabilizing your spine using that transverse abdominis. How many people here have heard of the transverse abdominis before? That belt of muscle around your middle. Most people just hear core, and then it's kind of a buzzword of what, tense up your core, which is, good, but some people that's hard to conceptualize. It is good to stabilize from the core, but knowing how to do that effectively, so you're not rounding your back, but you're stabilizing at that core so you can do lifts with it. Can you do the thug shaker? I'm not familiar with what that is. Is that an exercise? Oh, Urbix, what is your question about this process? I'm gonna look up thug shaker for a moment. I don't know what that is. Do I smoke crypto in your pre-workout? I don't even know what that means. I wouldn't recommend smoking anything in your pre-workout. Doesn't sound like a great idea. And I think you know that. I tend to not take anything pre-workout. I do post-workout. I tend to schedule a meal after working out, so I have something to actually resupply glycogen with. So the only crypto I know is cryptocurrency, and I'm not really involved with that. Is that a specific product? I'm not aware of it. Yeah, sorry, I can't help you with that, Urbix. I'm not sure what that is. If it's some sort of supplement brand, so I only use just a whey protein powder and a creatine powder. So those I think are beneficial, but not necessary by any means. Bitcoin pre-workout is the only product I've heard. I don't even know what that would be. So you have to say enough computers validate that you have done your pre-workout and then it's accurate? I don't know. No, I'm not. Am I taking Tren? I am not taking Tren. Oh, I see. It's like Tren. Yeah, I focus on what people can do naturally to live a long, healthy life. It's just not what I focus on. I know there are some people that do it, but I'd rather not get into it. Do you think that resistance training, though, is a healthy thing to have in your life? It's good for muscular health, good for cardiovascular, good for just having a better quality of life. So I do think resistance training, weight training, that sort of thing is a very healthy thing to incorporate into your life. Beyond that, so I do 3 sets of 5 reps at 55-pound weights for an hour. Any tips? So if you're going for 5 reps, that's more like strength training, more down in that rep range. And that's a respectable, difficult thing to do. Are you going for more strength, or are you trying to bulk up? Because what you could do is increase the amount of volume, drop the weight a little bit. It depends on what your goals are, but that doesn't sound like a bad set by any means, depending on what exercises you're doing. But usually doing the lower rep ranges or focusing more or lower number of reps per set is more into that strength. But as you increase the volume, you can get more hypertrophy, where you get a larger muscle size, even though you don't get necessarily as much strength. Oh, you're trying to lift 75 pounds by the end of the year? Nice. Yeah, then maybe strength is the actual direction you want to go. You want to try for those lower rep ranges where you're doing not very many reps, but high amounts of strength output, trying to generate as much force as you can during that. That's good. That's a very good goal. So strength and bulk somewhat go together, but the closer you get to your goal, the more usually you want to have to prioritize one or the other. It'll get you there faster if you prioritize just for strength. You will get some bulk, but not as much as if you just focused entirely on bulk. Wow, you were 260 and then down to 180. That is impressive. Good for you. How long did it take for you to drop that? That is a lot of weight to drop. I'm working my way down to that. My goal is about 195. Right now I'm about 200, give or so, take. Depends on the day. But I'm gonna need 3 or 4 months. Wow, that is a very fast weight drop. So something, if you're still trying to drop, you might want to actually increase your calories to generate strength, because it is hard for your body to generate as much muscle mass while you're also trying to lose weight. You can generate strength, you can get strength, as long as you're not dieting too much, but the actual amount of muscle mass you have can go down. Oh yeah, so it will really add up. All right, so I'm gonna call this stream here. Thanks everyone for being here. Hope to see you guys next time.